Hello. Hi, guys. Okay. Hello. So, welcome back. We're here. We're just gonna get right into it. But before I get started, I wanted to say I know last time I literally said like I was changing the flow. I'm changing the flow again, and honestly, just deal and be gracious. So, what I've decided actually I'm going to do is I'm going to start with like progress reports just because one, I feel like that is going to be really helpful for me just in terms of like measuring my growth and like measuring my journey and just in terms of like knowing kind of how things are going. And I think it also gives me something to track like throughout the week. So, I think a progress report at the top and at the bottom, at the top, what the fuck? It's Abby Lee Miller. At the top of the pyramid, how does that go? And the top three, like, how does she say that even? Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, we're going to start with progress reports. And then from progress reports, another thing that I've decided to implement is my routines / ins and outs for the month. So, like, routines that are working / ins and outs for the month, mainly because I feel like I think with the internet, at least this is what I have found to work for me. So obviously, like, find what works for you. For me, I feel like with the internet, there are so many new tips and tricks and my new favorite everyday salad or my new favorite meal prep or recipes or this or like just different things and routines to try out and to kind of test. I feel like a month is a really good amount of time to try something like that out. Like, oh, I had green juice every day for a month, or I like drank 80 ounces of water every day for a month. Like, I think that's a good like benchmark to kind of set for trying a routine and seeing if that's something that's one, sustainable for you, and two, like just something that you fuck with. So, yeah, we're going to do progress report and then we're going to do routines. That's how the flow is going to go. We're going to start with that. And then we're going to get into media. And then we're going to get into crushes and other stuff. So it's like, that's fine. Anyway, because speaking of like, you guys, like seriously speaking, like just to give my friends a break. Actually, like, no, like, not even to give my friends a break, but, like, gosh, like, guys, okay, no. Before we even go there with what I was about to say, progress report. So, what am I trying out? This week, I wrote all day Monday, which for me, like, this has been I have had like a very, like a love-hate relationship with reading and writing. I think that I'm feeling very disconnected from my craft right now. I think it's kind of funky just anytime you take on doing something that you love for payment, just like then that turning it into kind of a chore and having to like it just like impacts I think the relationship that you have with the craft. I think any artist can tell you this. And I think that if I'm going to be like writing, I can't be writing for money. I just came to the decision that I can't be like writing for money as well, because then it just kind of takes all of the enjoyment out of it and it adds like stress and like it makes me avoidant of the craft itself. Whereas, for example, I've been talking about graphic design. With graphic design, I would never, ever, ever sit and do that for fun. You know, like that's not no shit that I ever would do for fun. That's always been, for me at least, like something that I've done in like a working capacity or like in a project capacity. And it's really great and it's enjoyable and I'm really good at it. And I'm really good at like Adobe and I'm really good at like doing things like editorial, like layout and design and things of that nature. But again, I would never, ever just sit and play around and just do that shit for fun. You know what I mean? So, like, yes, graphic design is cool and I enjoy it, but that's not by any means my passion. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that being said, just sat down Monday, and I think wrote because I feel like my body just needed that to like decompress or something. I don't even know. But it was interesting because I literally, first of all, I woke up Monday morning, laid in my bed, started writing on my phone. Like, just felt very, like, had a lot of, like, just energy that needed to be expelled, and, like, just had a crazy weekend, and, like, just wanted to just write. And I kind of just wanted to write a story. And so I started writing a story Monday morning from my bed, and then a few hours went by, and I was like, honestly, like, I should get up and I should go, or maybe this was even Tuesday, like, I don't even know. But I was like, maybe I should just go get matcha, and then I can just take my laptop and finish what I'm doing, because it should be quick. Like, it should be so quick and so easy. So I grabbed my laptop, I went to the matcha place, and I legitimately sat there from like 11 a.m. to like 2:30 p.m. And the only reason I left, because I'm still not done writing what I was writing, I was literally like in a flow. But the only reason that I left was because I just didn't want to get stuck in rush hour traffic, because it was 2:30, and then I was going to be like getting home around 3, or it was honestly maybe already even 3. Like, it was just getting late. I think it was closer to 3, and I was just like, yeah, once 3 hits, that 3:30 to 4 hours just kind of going to be hellacious. And I do take highways to get home, because I'm like in the suburbs. So yeah, gosh, like, wrote all day, but still somehow felt unproductive, which don't know what that's about. Like, I just felt so unproductive, and maybe it's because I didn't finish. I think maybe it has to do with like this idea of finishing, like, what it is that you want, or getting the message out that you want to get out. And maybe that's why it didn't feel super productive. But because now I'm sitting on it, and now it's just another thing for me to finish, because I haven't finished writing what I was writing, and I know the beginning and the end of it. Like, I know the whole story, and so I want to kind of just get the whole story out. But now I haven't finished it because I haven't had another like time period of several hours where I'm just going to lock in and sit down. Me saying I haven't had a time period of several hours when I'm literally unemployed, and all I do is like run and like go to Pilates, which speaking of routines, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to running and going to Pilates. But anyway, yeah, so that was interesting. But that happened Monday, and obviously, like, I've kind of decided to put my back into freelance. Or maybe it's not obvious, because I know last time, or maybe the time before that, one of these times, I said something about potentially having like a renewed vigor in my job hunt. But like, I just haven't felt especially compelled by applying to jobs. And I don't know if I don't think it's avoidance. Seriously, like, I actually don't. When I'm looking at the material, I want to feel like, when I'm looking for a company to work for, first and foremost, like, I want to feel like I actually want to work there. That's just like first and foremost, not because of the name, not because of this. Like, I want to see the work that they've put out. I want to know about their mission. Like, I want to know about the people who already actively work there, and I want to feel like I want to work there. I think the reason I am like able to have this discernment, or like maybe have this feeling within me, is because I've already worked for my dream company. So like, in my brain, that was the only company I ever wanted to work for. You know what I mean? And I don't say that in the sense of like, well, I'll never have a job again, but I say that in the sense of like, at the time that I'd started, like, at the company that I was at, I felt very compelled by what they were making. I felt very compelled by what they were doing. I felt really, really attached to and obsessed with like my work, even though the job itself, like on a day-to-day basis, was not my favorite. Just the energy of being in this space with all of these like creative, talented people who share similar passions and share similar ideas, and just have like, it really completely changed my work experience. And I think also made me hold on to the job for probably longer than I needed to, because I'm sure I was really supposed to be out of the job like a year before I was laid off. And I think me getting laid off was literally like God / the universe just pushing me out and being like, you have to go. Like, you have to go in a different direction. But yeah, that being said, I think I'm really, really adamant about not just working for anybody now. And I obviously, like, first and foremost, this is a privilege. Like, having a safety net is a privilege. I still have my own safety net. Like, yes, I live with my parents, but I still have like my own finances kind of in order. Like, yeah, I had $0 and 0 cent, but I had other things like set up. And that's like all privilege. Yeah, which also, again, I'm very grateful for, and I can obviously lean on my safety net when I'm making decisions like this. And actually, I just want to take a moment to talk about, if you are in a similar situation, how you should not feel guilty or lazy for being able to have soft landings, because honestly, I think everyone's life looks different, and that's okay. And I feel like if everyone had the opportunity to have soft landings, they would take their soft landings. I think that like the struggle and the conditioning surrounding struggle and like the struggle fantasy, if that's not your reality, like that's not your reality, and that's totally totally okay. I feel like being able to have a soft landing doesn't have anything to do with your human decency. So yeah, love yourself and just be grateful for it and lean into it and use it to get it out the mud if you can, seriously, because I do feel like there's a lot of guilt that people have, or like shame surrounding this idea of like being like having a home to go back to, or like it's just it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like on one end, I feel like obviously like there's an understanding that there are people who have it so much worse, and you always have to acknowledge like the privilege that you're speaking from, obviously. But I also think that with that being said, obviously like things like nepotism, for example, wouldn't be coveted if they weren't something that like was literally so like fucking useful. Like if it wasn't something that just wasn't so fucking useful, you know, like yeah, like we can talk shit about the fucking nepo babies all day long and how they're talentless and they're ruining the industries and blah 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 blah. But if you were in the same position, you would highly like there's a high likelihood that you would be behaving in the same way. So yeah, that being said, it's okay, you're okay, and you're not a piece of shit just because your parents can like pay for your fucking groceries, or like because your parents can help you out with gas or something, or because you can move back home. So anyway, that being said, I've decided to kind of put my back into freelance, because after looking through the corporate jobs and just what was available in the companies in my city, I wasn't really feeling especially moved by any of them, or especially compelled by any of them. And the problem with that is that like I'm used to interviewing for things that I really want. And then I think as a result of interviewing for things that I really, really want, I get things that I really, really want. For example, I interviewed for a job like a couple months ago. The job itself I really, really wanted because I wanted money, but I was not like passionate about the company. And like, yeah, you can do your research, but it can kind of just show like you either have the twinkle in your eye when you're interviewing or you don't. And I'm sure that my shit was not fucking twinkling. So that being said, I'm putting my back into freelance. I'm working on my website. I'm redoing the whole thing, even though I just redid it and I feel like it looks really good. But I also feel like it's kind of like not authentic to me. Like it looks really good, but it just looks very polished. And I think I want it to be a little bit more artful and just a little bit more representative of like the direction that I want to go with my personal brand, which I feel like is a little bit more whimsical. So yeah, that's my progress report. That being said, since it's November and it's like early November, we are doing ins and outs this month as well. We are like kind of just starting a whole bunch of new routines, and by we I mean me. First and foremost, green juices or smoothies. Bro, like as your first thing in the morning before you have like anything else to eat. Like if you have like I know everyone has their thing in the morning, but even like before your coffee, I would say, or maybe after. No, I think before your coffee or whatever your like caffeine of choice is. But green juices or smoothies, literally, one, they give me so much energy. Two, like I get vitamins and nutrients. I have like a green juice mix. So like if you can find one that has a really good greens like blend, and then also like has a maybe a recipe on the back for like a smoothie or something, I just kind of like freestyle, and it's like Kuli. What the fuck is it? Wait, because I actually could be. Yeah, it's called Kuli, And that's the company. And the powder is Moringa and Super Greens. And yeah, that shit is fucking fire. That shit is fire, at least as far as I know. I did do some research, and I know that like moringa is like hard to kind of source because of like heavy metals and whatnot. And there are like all these disclaimers and all of these like things and all of these companies that have different it like it's whatever. You can do your own research, but like that's the one that I found that I have been liking. And it's been getting me through the day, like dead ass. I like no crash, clearing my colon down, literally like clearing my colon down. Like you don't need fucking Metamucil or Benefiber, dead ass, when you're doing fucking green juice. And how I like to do it is I do like maybe half a cup of like frozen fruit, which it'll just be like mango pineapple blend or like some like little tropical blend or whatever the fuck. Half a cup to a cup of that. And then like half a cup to a cup of that. And then I do like 2 or 3 handfuls of like a greens like mix from the grocery store. So like I'll buy like the one I have right now is like baby kale, chard, and spinach, and I like will shove it in and like kind of like compact it down into the NutriBullet. And then I use 8 ounces of coconut water, and then just a scoop of the green juice. Today I put 1 scoop of Benefiber in it just to see, but I honestly feel like it was unnecessary and I've never done that before. And yeah, it's not a super huge meal. Like it kind of goes right through you and does exactly what it needs to do, but then you also manage to get just 2 servings of vegetables for the day that I feel like you otherwise wouldn't have gotten. So in this month for me is green juice. Been saving my life. Another in for me this month is journaling before bed. Instead of journaling in the morning. Because I just didn't realize. I don't know. So I was really trying to be like a staunch child of morning pages after, as we know, like I have been flirting with The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron for like several months now, and honestly all year. And I feel like, like, yeah, like the doctrine, I believe in the doctrine, and like everyone has things that work for them, but I found that I was not really, like, morning pages just weren't sticking. They didn't feel effective or productive for me. And I actually had a moment recently where I remembered that the best time in my life and like most effective, most productive time of my life was when I was doing nighttime journaling. And I did that for like all of college, basically. Like, and I never fucking skipped a day. You know why? Because it's really easy to force yourself to like stay up to do like 5 to 10 minutes of extra work. Whereas like I love the mornings, but I'm not a morning person. Like once I'm up, I'm happy to be up. But that initial wake for me at least is like, it's just diabolical. Like I am somebody's like nightmare, dead ass. Like first thing in the morning, I don't know, something about the fact that I'm laying there and I'm not asleep and I'm awake just pisses me off. Like, I don't know, that shit pisses me off. So, like, initially, I'd be waking up kind of aggy, and then it's like sometimes I wake up late or oftentimes I wake up late, and then I have things that are time sensitive, like Pilates in the morning or whatever. So I don't have like 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 minutes to set aside to like do morning pages. You know what I mean? But at the end of a long day, I have everything on earth to talk about. And that's what makes it great. And when I was in college, I remember what I would do is I would just say like, hey Siri to my phone and just tell her to play like all music, and whatever song came on, that was great because one, like my Apple Music library at the time just had it still does, I guess, have like all of my shit. So it has every phase from like all the shit that was on my iPod, like Jesse McCartney and the Cheetah Girls and blah, 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 blah. And then it also has like, it had all of my new shit. So it was great because it played whatever. So some days I would get literally like strut like you mean it, and then other days I would get like get your head in the game, but then other days I would get Tyler the Creator and Frank Ocean. Like it was great because it kind of would put me in a mode where I'd start the journal being like, because how I would do it is I would write the name of the song that came on at the top, and that would kind of be like the title for the journal page, like the journal entry. So it would be like Same Old Mistakes by Rihanna at the top of the page. And then I'd be like, first of all, love this song. Haven't heard it in months. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. OMG, love Rihanna. And that already gets me going. You know, like that, like just that little sentence at the start kind of gets me into the flow of talking to my journal also just like a friend, and not practiced and not like trying to be artful or literate, and just it just has me ready to just journal the right way, in my opinion. And so another thing that I would do is I would start with the song at the top, and then I would go into exact events of my day. So like I would be like, here's what I did today and here's who I did it with. So I would literally, and I would, oh my gosh, and I would also do like, so for example, I would do first and last names of people every time. First and last names of people. Like if it's just someone who's passing through, like, then that's fine. But if I was like doing anything with my friends, or like, I'm not talking about like just even the guy at the barber shop, but I'm talking about more like, oh, like me and my best friend Sally Henson went to the grocery store, you know, and I would like name Sally Henson, and I'd be like, we went to the Trader Joe's on Orange Avenue or whatever the fuck. And I like would put exact names and exact locations because I want to be able to go back when I'm 60 years old and read my journal and know exactly who I was with and exactly where I was, and also be able to like look back onto those things. So like look back and see if the Trader Joe's on Orange Avenue is still there, or if I don't talk to Sally Henson anymore, look her up online. But because I have her first and last name, like that's much easier, you know, like versus Sally. Like there's 100 million Sallys in fucking whatever state, place, or city, you know? So it's just like, I don't know. I found that form of journaling was really, really great because it also just helped my memory through college, especially with all of the, you know, vibing that I was doing and all of the like stress that I was under. So I would do that. So it would be like song title, events of my day, and then manifestations at the end. And it would literally be, and again, this is just my style, but my style of writing manifestations was, I will do this by this time, or like I will achieve blank by blank, or I will, like I would always like make statements about what I would do and when they would be done. And I kid you not, several times like over those years I would look back and I'd be like, oh my gosh, every single thing that I've written down here has happened. Like I have done every single thing here. And I don't know like the rules behind why manifestation works or like why that shit works, but that shit worked, and that was just the best time of my life. And that was when I was journaling at night. So yeah, that being said, journaling before bed instead of in the morning. And I just feel like my life has not been like peak the way that it was peak. Like it's been fine, it's been ups and downs, but like I think that letting go of my evening pages and like just forgetting my flow is what kind of got in the way. So yeah, journaling before bed, listening to old playlists. Also in for November, listening to old playlists. They remind me not only of good times, but they also just make me love life a little bit more. And I feel like listening to old playlists kind of takes the pressure off of you know, the pressure of like finding new music and kind of making sure that you're maintaining like cultural relevancy with what you're listening to, or that you're finding like just cool new things or whatever. And I feel like it kind of turns it into like a fun rediscovery game of just old shit that you loved, and then it makes you remember why you loved it. And I love remembering why I loved something. I do. I love remembering why I loved something, or like why I loved like someone, or just why I loved like a place or an experience. I feel like that's my vibe. So yeah, I've been really enjoying listening to old playlists. I've also been really enjoying going outside. Going outside this month. We've been going outside like one for walks and for runs. Surprisingly, like, I know runs are like, I don't know, sacrilege, or like running is like sacrilege. I don't know, but I've been vibing, and I like the Nike Run Club app, and like the guided runs are fun, and Coach Bennett is going to talk you through it every time. And with the cool breeze blowing on you and maybe like a comedy podcast playing, because I also feel like running with music is suffering. So like when you do it with a comedy podcast and you kind of don't even realize, but then you have like a little voice that comes in every 10 minutes and is like, oh, by the way, like focus on your breathing and like you're doing such a good job. It just feels nice. They've just been fun, and with the weather, like that's been perfect. So yes, like in a fitness sense, going outside and just walking and doing things like that, but also going outside and having new experiences. I have been forcing myself, mind you, like all of these routines that I'm talking about, by the way, I've been doing since about 2 weeks, like 2 weeks ago, so like mid-October. So like these are things that I've kind of been trying already that I'm keeping in for November because I want to like really fully properly devote. And that being said, what? Because what the fuck was I talking about? Going outside? Oh, yeah, I've been forcing myself out the house, going to events, going to meet people, committing to things verbally and like keeping my verbal commitments, and honestly, it's been fire, and I've had some really crazy shit happening because of it. So yeah, going outside in this month. Out this month, what's out this month? Thinking twice about what anyone on the internet says, period, point blank. I have come to the conclusion since getting into TikTok. I know I was waxing poetic about TikTok and I still love it. Don't even get it confused. Don't even get it confused, because I still love her down. Literally was taking a scroll on her this morning, and she was 10 for 10 for 10 comedy videos. I could not stop laughing. I was crying. So yeah, love TikTok down. However, that being said, I think that the internalization of what people on the internet are saying like has to stop. You are like, first of all, it's a never ending fucking cycle. People are always gonna have some shit to say. Only you know what you should be doing with your life, period, point blank. Only you know what the fuck you should be doing with your life, period, point blank. That's all. That's all. You know, and you know deep down, even if you're like in a fight with a friend about it, or like your mom is trying to push you to be healthy and you don't want to be healthy, you know deep down if you want to be healthy or not. You know what I mean? Like, it's like shit like that, you know. And I think it's just time to stop thinking twice about what the fucking internet is saying. Like, you literally have to take that shit with a fucking, literally like a flake of like dandruff type shit. Like that, it just really can't mean shit. So yeah. Another thing that I'm just not doing anymore this month is overeating. I think I had a hard month in October in terms of like my internal world, a little bit. Because of that, I was overeating and it felt really shitty. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, not even on any weird shit that has to do with anything like perhaps dysmorphic. But I just feel like I'm tired of getting to the point of being miserably full. Fucking pack it up and take the leftovers, bro. Like, honestly, pack it up and take the leftovers, and then you get to eat that shit again, and it's okay, and it's gonna be okay. Like, you don't have to clean your plate, actually. And I know that that's obviously, like, speaking as someone in a first world country from a place of privilege, but I don't know. Obviously, there was something sinister at work, I think, that was, like, making me feel like I was just had to be doing that, but I don't know. If you need to just maybe wait at least like 15 minutes and go to the bathroom before you continue eating, then do that. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I think that we need to be more mindful with our meals in general, and just sitting down and like the practice of like spending time with food and showing gratitude and like really taking it in as pleasure, yes, but also as nourishment for your body, and just like a whole thing. So having like a whole thing with like eating this month. That being said though, because the crazy thing about me even saying that is that like I am literally also, I will say, on like day 4 of not really having an appetite. So I've kind of been like force feeding myself like sweet potatoes and yogurt, because they have like hella vitamins and nutrients and like carbs to get through the day, and then like drinking like 80 ounces of water. So that's just something that I'm working on. That's something that I'm working on. Don't know what's going on there. Like I said, I'm sure there is something sinister. Now it's just working in like the opposite direction. I had a sweet potato this morning, and I'm here and I'm surviving and I'm sat upright. So yeah, we're vibing. Also out this month is cold water, bro. I can't even describe like the way that like room temperature water and hot water has changed my life. And I don't know like who said shit about this, but I think last month at dinner, my mom said something along the lines of how like in Asian and Eastern cultures, they drink a lot of warm beverages, and that just obviously changes the way that their bodies process food and changes their appearance and blah, 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 blah. And I've definitely heard think pieces about this on TikTok before, so this is not like completely new information. But I was just a child of cold water and loved cold water. And after a month almost now of just not drinking cold water and drinking like nothing but room temperature, I will say cold water is like almost unpleasant for me now. Like the other day, oh, not even the other day. Actually, yes, the other day, because I went twice. But this morning, I literally went to like drop my car off at the shop, and he offered me like a cold water bottle from out of the mini fridge, and I started drinking it, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not pee. Like this is just not fire actually. And it's just sitting downstairs on the counter, waiting to get room temperature. So yeah, can literally not even describe, you guys. Like, first of all, I be hydrated as fuck. Also, when the water is not so fucking cold, to me, it makes it easier to drink more. So like these days, I'll be having maybe 2 to 3 of my Hydro Flasks. My Hydro Flask is big as fuck, mind you. It's literally 40 ounces. It's like the size of my whole arm from my fingertips to my elbow. And is it that big, actually? Wait. Okay, so it's like the size of from my fingertips to like the top of my palm. No, sorry, not my finger. From my elbow to like the top of my palm. Point is, because that doesn't even matter. It's big as fuck. It's 40 ounces. And I literally, when I was drinking cold water, I was struggling to just even have one of them a day. And I literally had to like drink electrolytes. And I still drink electrolytes, but I drink them in room temperature water. And then I also drink hella out of my Hydro Flask. And I've just been hydrated. One thing I can say that I have not been is dehydrated so far. So yeah, that's been really great. And then also picking up The Artist's Way. Just and gonna maybe update on how that reintegrates itself into my routine. Because I know I was just talking shit about her, but I'm just going to pick it up because I think my full day of writing that I had was really good. And I feel like the need to kind of retreat into self-development right now. Like, yes, it's always time for self-development. Like, don't get me wrong. But I don't know. Like, I want to be working on, like, personal projects like that. And I think I've been working on this personal project for so long and kind of shifting my focus toward how I can make and maintain income that I haven't been, like, being creative in ways that I want to be creative, and I haven't been feeling attached to, like, because of it, like, things that I want to be attached to. Like, yes, like, I've been reading and, like, this and that and whatever, but I just feel like when you're doing something like The Artist's Way, like, it brings, I think, just an awareness and kind of a stillness to creative practice that, yes, creativity is so fluid and it's obviously like not still, but I think it requires some sense of stepping outside of so that you can kind of really be in it, you know? And if that doesn't make sense, that's totally fine. If it does, then you get it. So yeah, those are my ins and outs. Now, back on my Tina Belcher shit. Anyway, guys, okay, fine. Let me just start by saying that with men, my judgment is like usually it's just like I have a very staunch position on men. Like you're either in or you're out, period, point blank. Like my shit be quick and harsh. Like it usually just takes like one comment, one look, like one something, and maybe this is bad. Maybe this is bad. But also, I feel like it's good and I feel like it does a lot of work for me. But it literally usually takes one thing and I'm just like, no, actually, no. And because I'm so focused on self-development right now, I really haven't been like super duper ooper like into the idea of dating anyway. Like, just because I really want to get to the point where I feel super fulfilled and like love myself and like feel like I'm dating myself, sure. And then if someone like comes in and like knocks me off of my feet, then like I guess, you know? So that being said, a man entered the chat and left the chat, I kid you not, literally like overnight. And honestly, not mad about it. Like, no, honestly, no, I'm not mad about it because truthfully, 10 out of 10 experience. Met the man at like I'm not even going to get into this story, like really just for the sake of not doxing in case this ever goes anywhere, like keeping my shit just on cutesy and demure. Oh, gosh. He just so unexpected. I like showed up at a mutual friend's birthday / Halloween party. And I just like, as soon as I walked in the room, locked eyes with him. And like, gosh, I literally was like, oh shit. Like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to need to take several steps back because the thing is, I know myself and I know myself and I knew, like I saw him and I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna, well, no. Actually, like my first, no, let me not even lie. So my first thought upon seeing him was just that like I didn't even really notice him because I was looking for someone that I knew because I showed up to this event by myself. I went outside because I just talked about how going outside has been life-changing. I went outside by myself, no friend in sight. Nobody on my arm. So I was looking for someone that I knew at this function that I was at. And in the process of looking for someone that I knew, my eyes kind of like passed over this guy. And, you know, I didn't really think anything of him. But then he started talking to me. And he was like the first person that approached me in this room. Like he literally made a beeline and just like introduced him. Took the stuff that I was holding in my hands because I brought like stuff for the party. Took it, like, put it down. Okay. Like, okay. Took the stuff, like, took a load off of my plate, I guess. Took a load off of my plate. Put the shit up. Came over immediately, like immediate introduction, right? And just something about the vibe. Like, I just knew at that point, not even 5 minutes in, I was like, you know what? And I'm just going to have to stay back here and stay over here in this corner, in my cute, safe corner. Because the problem with me is that I know that I would literally, it takes nothing. And then it's literally, because my standards are like just so like, one, high. My standards are high. My physical standards are high. My emotional standards are high. Like, just whatever. And, like, granted, that's fine. Everyone has different standards. I'm just saying, I'm not an easily turned head. So the fact that my head was turned already felt like a red flag for me internally to myself, because I was like, there are things to do. You came out to have fun and just be a girl and vibe and party. You did not come out to get simpy and be like invested or anything. And I just know. I knew it was going to be giving like Frank Ocean thinking about you. Like a potato flew around my room. Like literally, like my problem is that like it takes nothing and then all of a sudden like I need to be committed. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. So yeah, I literally avoided this man on like avoided him the whole night, which I don't think I was doing like a, honestly, not even gonna lie, I wasn't doing a good job of being avoidant. Like I wasn't. Like I would kind of like walk away here and there, like do it half-heartedly, but like come on. He was fucking hot AF. So charismatic, y'all. Like literally like a charisma bomb. Like a charisma bomb. It felt kind of almost unfair. I was just like, what's a woman to do? Like in this situation, you have a 10 out of 10 charisma bomb in your anyway. Because before I even get carried away, because I know myself, it was, I had to avoid him the whole night. And now the problem is that obviously my avoidance was unsuccessful. And things happened. And now, internally, am I like actively having to hold myself back from what some could call like the crash out of the century? Well, yes. And you know what? That's a fight that I fight every day over old things that have happened. And I think rumination is the greatest evil. So less rumination, but also that was just certainly a situation. And now I'm just like, you know what? I just have to give it a deep sigh and keep it moving, hot and sexy type shit. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like my shit, I really do like just be walking around hot and sexy. And sometimes you just have to like let fine shit go and move on. Now, listen. Am I gonna, and the reason I had to let fine shit go and move on, by the way, mind you, is because he literally lives across the country. So, right. Am I gonna hit him up when I'm in his city? Well, yes. Like, yes. But also, is it productive to think about that literally every single day until I'm there? Because who knows when the fuck that's gonna be? No. But what I can do is, I can rejoice in the experience. I can rejoice in my hotness. You know what? I went out to have fun, and really, truly, I did have fun at the end of the day. So it was fun as fuck. Like, I had a great time. I had a great night. And then my great night was just topped off by more greatness. So it's just like, honestly, like, would do it again. Nothing could have stopped it anyway, to be completely honest. Nothing could have stopped that, but really, truly, no complaints. That being said, we're coming off the heels of receiving a text this morning, literally from said man, and I'm just like, babe, I'm gonna have to just leave you where you're at, because you're already back on PST, like, dead ass. Unfortunately. So, yeah, that happened. That happened, and you know what? It's about time now for us to just move on and move into obsessions, because I just can't even, I'm not even gonna, like I just said, rumination, we're anti-rumination in this house. So period to that, no ruminating here. We're just gonna keep it moving into obsessions of the week, obsessions. Oh my gosh, I saw Breaking Dawn Part 2. Just the concept of Twilight, just honestly, like, kind of obsessed with just the concept of Twilight in general. First and foremost, like, let's start there. That shit was iconic as fuck. Now, was it insane? Kind of. And extremely problematic, I would say, actually, thinking about it. Well, yes. However, honestly, you just can't fight with the the iconicism of it. Iconicism? Is it iconicism or is it like the iconicness? I wonder, actually. I'm gonna look it up really quickly. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. What did I just ask? Iconic? No. Iconicism versus, what did I say? Iconicness. Is that a word? Ooh. Iconicism. Oh, in contrast, iconicness is the state of being iconic. That feels made up, actually, though. Iconicism is a term that refers to the relationship between a sign and its meaning. Oh. But that's different. That's talking about, like, icons and, like, what... Iconic? Iconism. Is that, like, a... I don't know. Iconicness. That shit is not a fucking word. Sorry. I know I Googled it to find out if it was a word, but I just feel like iconicness is not a fucking word. So anyway, can't fight with the tea of Twilight because that shit was fire. Low key. And yeah, it was crazy, but you know what? In 2008, I was eating it the fuck up. That being said, just recently saw Breaking Dawn Part 2, probably for the first time since I saw it originally in theaters, and literally there was, okay, just so much to unpack. The CGI baby with the hyperactive, moving, uncanny valley face. Right. The CGI child. Right. Until her face was real. Wasn't even real until the end. Right. Also, the whole imprinting thing with her and Jacob. And Jacob sitting next to her while she's in her car seat. And then saying some shit like, they're gonna love you. They've just never met anybody like you before. You're sitting next to your future boo thing while she's in a car seat. And then turning to Edward at the end, like, should I start calling you dad? Ooh. Jail. Like, jail for everyone involved. Because honestly, when Jacob said that, the girl was literally presenting 10 years old. And then Alice having a vision, unnecessarily, might I add, Alice just having a vision, like, flashing us forward and showing us Jacob and Renesmee, like, in love in the future on the beach. Why? Like, what the fuck? What was that? What was that? Wait, like, what was that? You know? That shit was crazy. Yeah, that shit was crazy. And, like, yes, did I tear up a little bit at the end? Sure. Yeah, I teared up a little bit at the end. Yeah, okay. However, something about it, like, I think that, and you know what? I know her. I love her. I'm talking about the whole Twilight series now at this point. Know her. I love her. I'm going to have to just put her on the shelf for like several years. Like, I don't think I'm going to be watching it again until maybe I have like daughters and they need to watch Twilight. I feel like it's now gotten into like that territory for me. But yeah, that being said, the concept of it, can't even believe that we were talking about it was like written by a Mormon like wife, like Stephenie Meyer was like a Mormon housewife. It just also makes so much sense because they're all just so like ghastly pale and like ghoulishly looking, like white, and like the Civil War soldier and like all of the like weird, just like so much, and anyway, so Twilight, worth a watch if you haven't seen it in like several years, because I hadn't seen it in several years. I haven't seen it since like my freshman year of college probably, so would recommend. Otherwise, use your discernment, I guess, like dealer's choice on that one. Anyway, Where was I? Me sitting back down after literally stopping for several hours. I stopped because honestly, like, I was really hungry. I know I just said I haven't had an appetite. I feel like that experience has been like different though. Like, because the thing is, I've still been feeling hunger, obviously. However, I just have not been like, it's like I'll feel hungry and then just literally nothing sounds good. Does anyone have an answer for that? Like, what's that about? Anyway, what else am I obsessed with this week? Oh my gosh. There was this exhibit put on. I think it's still happening actually, and I think it's going through the end of November, but there's this exhibit by the, oh my gosh. You know what? And never mind. And I'm not even going to speak on them, actually. I'm literally not even going to speak on them. I saw this really cool exhibit. I'm obsessed with it. I think it's put on by the Center for Shamanic Education. If you feel like doing more research on that, period. But it's like, it has to do with like connecting sound and spirituality and like expressing spirituality like through art and sound through art. It's very interesting. And then it's like all of these like ancient cultural practices, and it has to do with like the preservation of like shamanic practices and art practices like within that realm and like in those tribes. So very interesting if that's like something that you're into. What else? Oh my gosh, all music, TBH, this week, like since I met that man, I'm not gonna lie. And of course, like my end goal is to get into this mindset for all the time because I want to be in this mindset all the time. But you know, when you're like in a really good mood and honestly, like all music hits, but especially like dance music, you're just like, yeah, like I just want to throw my body around. I just want to move and vibe and shake, move and jam and something and something. What did he say? Was that from High School Musical? Where he was like, I just want to done and vibe and jam and shake, or like whatever the fuck. Is that literally High School Musical? I'm gonna look into that after this. But yeah, all music, especially Kaytranada, Rochelle Jordan. I've been listening to like all my, like I already said, I've been listening to old playlists, but yeah, something about them, something about that dance music. Oh, like I've just been moving and grooving and shaking all week. Still really liking those few new Tame Impala songs. Kind of irritated because they're like hella taxing for the Tame Impala concert in Austin. Like literally I think they're like trying to, like the resale price for them is minimum like $400 deadass. So yeah, that's really annoying. However, it's okay, because you know what, I'm gonna check again at 6 p.m. tomorrow, the day of the show, and we just gonna see about it. But anyway, whoever's reselling tickets, you're gonna fucking pay. Man Crush Monday. Oh, Drag Race, obviously. Not even too much on that. Drag Race, obviously. Also, seeing a note here that my Nana called me fat yesterday. Also true. And you know what? Interesting, because I was talking about, like, just how sinister whatever is happening, like, with my eating right now is. And I just wonder, like... That's all. I'm just curious. Like, I don't wonder about, you know... like, if that has anything to do with it. But, like, that was, like, a few days ago. And, if like, a few weeks before that, my auntie called me fat. Well, she didn't call me fat. She said, you look like you're slimming back down. I was like, oh. No, didn't know I was, like, slimmed up, like, unslim. Like, I don't... So, anyway. Yeah. Originally was gonna say, first of all, loved Frankenstein, did see it, would recommend. That being said, I actually have a whole thing on Frankenstein because I wrote notes down in that theater. So I'm gonna put it on here like as obsessions because loved her down, but because we're like the producer in my brain is like, girl, we're running out of time and I don't want to be rushed. I'm gonna cover that all next time because yeah, I have thoughts Top line thoughts, worth the watch. Obviously, like, you empathize with the monster. Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi are both fine as fuck. Anyway. Yeah. Man Crush Monday, that being said, Jacob Elordi, duh. Obviously, like, duh. Literally, my friend and I were talking in the car the other night about if you could do, like, middle school or high school all over again, would you? And I was like, first and foremost, yes. And the first thing I literally said to her was, like, I would go back to high school and I would discover Jacob Elordi. Like, I would find him on Instagram, hella, like, his shit has 500 followers, dead ass, and be, like, his American Girl who loved him when he was trying to get it out the mud. Like, that's what I would go back to high school and do. And also a whole bunch of other shit, but, like, find Jacob Elordi. And also on the topic of monsters, because what did I write this for? Also on the topic of monsters, I found a page called r/garlic the other day. What does that mean? Also, oh, vampires. Maybe because of vampires? Like, what is that even? Okay, period. But also, what? Why? And I remember feeling like that when I found the page. Why is there a whole Reddit page dedicated to garlic? Honestly, though, kind of obsessed with Reddit, so I'm gonna put that on there this week too. Check them out. If you're not into Reddit, like, I would kind of get into it a little. I don't know. That's just my take. Yeah. So that being said, oh, and Woman Crush Wednesday, Solange, just because she's right in front of my face on my vision board, aka my shrine. So yeah, love her. And you know, kind of annoying that, like, men just get to, like, be hot to be Man Crush Monday, but women have to, like, well, I guess women don't have to. Women just are more than hot, like, all the time. And that's just so, which I guess, okay, not too much, because Jacob already has a job, I guess. But I'm just like, yeah, you know how many men are on my vision board? Not too many. It's all women. So it's easy to look up and find a Woman Crush Wednesday because they're all doing cool shit, because women just do cool shit. Whereas, like, men don't just do cool shit. Sometimes they get away with just being attractive, you know? Kind of crazy. And that's just my opinion. That's just from where I stand. So, hey, my paws are up. Like, that's just my understanding. That being said, yeah. Wow, not me taking a 2-hour break literally just to come back and, like, record 5 minutes. Okay, period. You know what? And love that, because I'm still on time. So how about that? And that being said, your favorite producer is logging out. Or no, what is it? Signing off. She's signing off. Thank you for being here as always. Love you, miss you. Could totally kiss you. And yeah. Everyone have a beautiful day and a beautiful week and a beautiful month. Bye.